All right, so, usually we'd be diving into some complex research or a dense historical text, but today's a bit different.
Oh, yeah, definitely. A lot more personal, wouldn't you say?
For sure. We're celebrating a very special 50th birthday, and to do that, we're taking a deep dive into the life of, well, the birthday girl herself, Keren Rosen.
Sounds fun. A biography and a whole bunch of lists about her qualities, hobbies, you name it.
It's a goldmine of little details, and you know me, I love a good detail. Our mission, uncover the most interesting bits, the insightful moments that help us understand who Karen is.
It's like piecing together a puzzle, but instead of a picture, we're getting a portrait of a person.
Exactly. Okay, so Karen was born in Haifa, Israel, March 17th, 1975. Parents, Jay and Maureen Rosen, youngest of three, older sister Yoni and a brother, Dani. Grew up first on Einstein Street, then the family moved to the Denya neighborhood. Just from those first few facts, anything jump out at you?
And it's fascinating how even basic info can kind of hint at bigger things, right? Haifa, as a port city, maybe a bustling environment for her early years. I see what you mean.
And then moving to Denya, which is often a bit more, I don't know, suburban, could suggest a shift in, like, family lifestyle or something as she got older. Makes you think about how those places shaped her experiences.
Definitely. And then we get this great little story about her pretending to have a broken leg.
Oh, yeah, I've read that.
Even wore a cast, even though apparently her leg was just a bit sore. That screams imagination to me. Maybe even a little bit of a dramatic flair. What do you think?
Oh, absolutely. That kind of playfulness, that little bit of mischief, could suggest a comfort with, like, bending the rules or even a need for attention. I mean, think about it. Later on, she pulls off a pretty unconventional proposal, and those early tendencies, they can stick around in interesting ways.
Good point. She also took piano lessons for a couple of years in elementary school. Classic, right? Joined the scouts with her friends. Typical kid stuff, trying things out, figuring out what sticks.
But she started the piano, which is interesting given her apparent love for music and dancing later on.
Makes you wonder why. Maybe it shows she's open to trying new things, but doesn't feel the need to stick with them if they're not a perfect fit. Or maybe something else just grabbed her attention more. It's these little choices that can be so revealing.
And then there's the early love for sports tennis, and she was apparently a ping pong superstar. I can totally picture that.
Oh yeah, definitely. That competitive spirit and enjoyment of moving her body seems to be a theme throughout her life, right?
Yeah.
Volleyball, running, all that. Probably goes beyond just sports too, you know? Might point to a certain energy, maybe even determination.
Totally. Okay, fast forward a bit. After high school, she served for 2 years in the IDF Army, specifically the Electronic Warfare Unit, which, for those who don't know, often involves using tech to get an edge in conflict situations. Pretty demanding stuff.
Absolutely. I mean, that requires some serious technical smarts and strategic thinking. Problem solving under pressure, you know?
Mhm.
That probably laid the groundwork for that sharpness that pops up in the list of her qualities.
Right. And then boom, travel bug hits. Big time. Post-army trip to Australia and New Zealand with her friend Sharon, climbed a high mountain and did free fall skydiving. That's not exactly your average vacation.
Not at all. That kind of leap into the unknown, literally and figuratively, says a lot about her, wouldn't you say?
Right.
Adventurous for sure, but also a willingness to push her limits, that desire for new experiences and a certain fearlessness. It seems to be a recurring thing with her.
Totally agree. And when it came to education, get this, she was torn between computer science and genetic engineering. Talk about two wildly different paths.
Oh, yeah, that's a tough choice.
Ultimately chose computer science, went to Tel Aviv Academic College, which is where she met Gil, her future husband, so pretty pivotal decision all around.
Choosing computer science, especially with that other option on the table, maybe suggests a preference for logic, problem solving, that kind of thing. I mean, technology was changing so rapidly back then.
Yeah.
And it makes you wonder if that analytical way of thinking influenced other parts of her life.
Interesting. Then their adventures as a couple really took off after college. A long trip to the Far East, India, Nepal, Tibet, Thailand, tons of trekking. That's got to be such an immersive experience.
Oh, yeah, that kind of travel, especially to places with, like, such different cultures and sometimes really tough terrains. It takes a lot of adaptability and open-mindedness, not to mention a healthy dose of curiosity.
Yeah.
That much trekking, it really tests you, you know, both individually and as a couple.
And then in the middle of all that, she goes bungee jumping. So that adventurous streak from the skydiving, definitely still there.
Oh, for sure. It just confirms that image of someone who loves a good challenge, who seeks out those thrilling experiences, that pattern of pushing beyond her comfort zone What's interesting is how she balances that with, the family life and community stuff.
Totally. And this detail, this is just so Karen. It was really important to her that she proposed to Gil after his initial proposal was delayed, for whatever reason, talk about assertive, maybe even a little playful.
That's great. Definitely suggests a strong sense of like agency,
Yeah.
doing things on her own terms. Adds another layer to her personality, not just adventurous, but someone who knows what she wants and goes for it. Makes you wonder if that directness shows up in other areas of her life too.
Absolutely. Okay, they tied the knot October 14th, 2004. And then their family started growing. 3 kids: Geffen, born 2008, Yuval in 2010, and Shani in 2013. All 3 born via cesarean sections.
Wow, 3 kids.
I know, right? That's a lot to handle.
And the cesarean sections, while it's a medical fact, it kind of subtly highlights the physical demands of motherhood, wouldn't you say?
Uh-huh.
Just another layer to understanding her journey and the strength it takes to raise a family.
Absolutely. Early married life, they were in Tel Aviv, eventually moved to a house they built in Tel Mond. Career-wise, Karen had a career in high tech, but then after the kids, she made a big shift. Teaching English, that's a pretty major change.
That's a big leap. It makes you think she maybe reevaluated her priorities,
Yeah.
maybe wanted a different kind of fulfillment, or a better work-life balance.
Yeah.
And teaching, it speaks to an interest in communication, education, which, hey, lines up with one of the qualities listed, educator.
Yeah, that's a good catch. Then another adventure. They lived in Vienna, Austria for 4 years because of Gil's job, so the whole family gets to experience a new culture, travel around Central Europe, ski vacations. Sounds pretty amazing.
Oh, yeah, immersing yourself in a different culture like that, especially for that long, it's got to be incredibly enriching for everyone. Builds adaptability, widens perspectives, and then all that travel, the skiing, just reinforces that active, experience-driven life they seem to have. Makes you wonder how living abroad shaped the kids' views on things, too.
Oh, definitely. And then they came back to Israel during a pretty intense time, the whole COVID-19 pandemic. Must have been a whole other set of adjustments and uncertainties.
Coming home during a global crisis, yeah, I bet that came with a whole bunch of challenges for everyone. Speaks to the resilience, though, right? Having to adapt to completely unforeseen circumstances.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit. Her passions, her community involvement. We know she loves sports. Beach bats, catchball, running, and volleyball, though she had a broken finger from beach ball at some point, so maybe a bit of a forced break from that one. But that sporty side seems like it's been a constant.
Yeah, even with a few bumps along the way, that continued love for sports, even with an injury, it points to a genuine love of being active. And maybe the social aspect of team sports, too. Definitely strengthens that sporty quality we saw earlier.
And she's a foodie, appreciates fine dining, and loves experimenting with new dishes herself. That kind of culinary curiosity suggests a creative side, don't you think? And maybe an appreciation for, like, sensory experiences.
For sure. Having a love for sports and also being into gourmet food, that paints a picture of someone pretty well-rounded, who enjoys both physical activity and the finer things in life. And those culinary experiments definitely line up with the whole creative quality that was listed.
And this, I think, will resonate with anyone who knows Karen. She loves to dance, loves to party, and apparently has gotten her whole family and friend group on board. That's gotta make for some fun gatherings.
Oh, yeah. You can just picture the energy, right? The kind of enthusiasm for socializing, for celebration. It's contagious, just like the biography said.
Yeah.
Speaks to someone who values connection, who knows how to create joyful experiences. I wonder how many amazing memories have been made at those parties and dances.
Family time is clearly a big deal, too. Lots of hiking, camping, and they take tons of trips together. Those shared experiences, they build strong bonds, create lasting memories.
Definitely. It shows she prioritizes family time, those shared adventures. It reflects that caring side, but within her family unit.
She's also very active in the community, volunteering at school, helping farmers with harvests and direct-to-customer sales. Specifically mentions the OTEF region, which, just for context, is an area near the Gaza Strip, so it often faces some unique challenges. Shows a real commitment to giving back.
For sure. That community involvement, especially working with farmers in a place like the OTEF, shows a strong sense of responsibility, a willingness to help causes she cares about. And the school volunteering, it highlights that nurturing side again, the caring and educator aspects coming together.
Okay, and this one's a bit of a curveball, which I love. Apparently, Karen adores airline meals. Not something you hear every day, right?
That is amazing.
Yeah.
It's those little unexpected things that make someone unique, It just adds a touch of humor. It reminds us that everyone has these, quirky little things they enjoy. Makes her feel even more real somehow.
Definitely. There's mention of her creativity and how much she enjoys their new dog, Sunny. Even something like getting a pet, it brings so much joy, but also new responsibilities. And the fact that she loves it, it speaks to her nurturing side again.
Yeah, caring for a pet takes a lot of, well, caring
Hmm.
and commitment. And that mention of enjoying Sunny, it definitely aligns with that caring nature we've seen. And the creativity, I bet that extends way beyond just those culinary experiments. Maybe it comes out in how she plans family activities or something.
Oh, probably. And then there's the dedication to her kids, making sure they stick to their chores. That's classic parenting.
Yeah.
Less glamorous, but super important.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Parenting is no joke, right?
Yeah.
And her focus on the kids' development, their responsibilities, it underscores that whole educator side, but within her own family. It's those nurturing qualities being put into practice every day.
Hey, last but not least, her love of planning events, hosting, putting a lot of effort into games. It all circles back to that love of bringing people together, creating fun experiences. It really ties everything together, the social side, the creativity, the care she has for others.
It really does. It paints a picture of someone who's not only adventurous and active, but also really cares about making positive memories for her family and friends,
Yeah.
bringing joy to others,
Yeah.
you know?
So let's try to sum up some of those key qualities and hobbies that have emerged from all this. We've got caring, super evident in her family life or community work. Sporty, that's been there since childhood. Educator pops up in the career change, her parenting style. Sensitive, maybe reflected in those deep connections she has with people. Sharpness, probably linked to the academics, the tech career. And creative, that comes out in the cooking, the event planning. What do you think? How do you see all these playing out?
Yeah, no, totally. And the hobbies. I mean,
Yeah.
you've got running, volleyball, culinary experiments, beach bats, enjoying good food, mixing cocktails,
Right.
partying, dancing. It really brings those qualities to life, right?
Yeah.
The food and cocktail stuff shows that creative side. The sports are obvious. And the partying, the dancing, it highlights that vibrant social energy. It's fascinating how it all connects.
Totally. Then there are those activities listed, being a groceries distributor, which we've figured probably means helping those local farmers teaching English, policing those kids' chores, walking Sunny the dog, camping, traveling, trekking, volunteering, and cooking. It's a packed life.
Full and engaged on so many levels. Professional stuff, family, personal passions, community work. The groceries distributor thing highlights that practical support for local things. And all those outdoor activities, they point right back to that adventurous spirit. It's pretty inspiring, all that energy and commitment.
It is. Lastly, the list of things that happened to her, that fake broken leg from when she was a kid, bungee jumping, those 4 years in Vienna, having the 3 kids via cesarean sections, proposing to Gil, and that wonderfully specific love of airline meals. These are the moments that stick out.
They're like little snapshots, right?
Yeah.
Each one adds something to the bigger picture of her life. The cast story gives us a glimpse into her personality as a kid. The bungee jump shows that adventurous side. The big life events, having kids, living abroad, they mark these huge chapters. And even the airline meals, it's a little detail, but it makes her feel more real, more relatable. They all work together.
So, wrapping up this deep dive, this celebration of Karen's 50th birthday, I think it's safe to say that these sources, this bio, and all these lists, they reveal a life that's rich with variety, adventure, deep connections, and a real zest for life.
Absolutely. It's been a privilege to explore it all, hasn't it?
Definitely has.
The picture we get is so vivid, so dynamic. Someone who loves new experiences, cherishes her family and community, and approaches everything with this real enthusiasm and a big heart. It's a fantastic portrait.
It really is. And on that note, here's something to think about. All these little details, these diverse experiences, like the airline meal thing or that childhood prank, they can actually tell us a lot about someone. Just like these glimpses into Karen's life give us a better sense of who she is as she hits this milestone. It makes you wonder what seemingly small things in your own life might actually be part of a bigger story.